Hi, everybody, and welcome to this interview with Katie Stoddart, who is the author of the book, The Magic of Focus. Katie, so good to get to talk to you about this incredible book.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. It's wonderful to release the book. It's wonderful to share it with the world. Thank you.
The book talks about, obviously, the magic of focus, both short-term and long-term focus. And this is something that a lot of people are struggling with. It is a huge challenge in our distracted, overwhelmed world. So can you just tell me a little bit about what is the main focus of when you talk about focus? What is the message you're really trying to get across about this incredible skill?
I think for me, it really comes down to the fact that we can choose how we spend our attention. A lot of people feel that they have to be always multitasking, doing so many things, and that they don't have the choice in how they design their life. So for me, I feel that it's important to maybe just remind people that they can choose how they spend their energy and their attention. And even if some of their time is already allocated, when they're doing their work, they can choose to be fully present with it. And they don't have to be lost in their thoughts or going in all directions. So it's really about living with intention and also taking ownership and responsibility for the way they're spending their attention.
I love that answer. It's so empowered in a lot of ways, talking about the fact that we all have a choice. But having a choice also means being a really good self-leader. We talk a lot about self-leadership these days. What is the relationship then between self-leadership and the ability to focus?
Yes, this is a wonderful question because I work a lot with self-leadership. In many ways, we could say, I often say that I'm a leadership coach, but really what I mean most is self-leadership coach, because I believe that all leadership comes down to self-leadership. And self-leadership is really that ability to master our own inner world, whether it's our thoughts, beliefs, triggers, emotions. And the way this relates to focus is because we can choose and we can be selective, which is the last part of my book, Selective Focus. We can choose how we manage these thoughts and emotions. And for this, we can change and orient our focus in a certain way. For instance, if we start to feel upset and we've got a certain perspective on things, we can then raise our awareness of it, use maybe a Stoic principle or a different philosophy, shift our focus, hence the selective focus, to bring ourselves to a calmer, more grounded state of mind. So that's how I see focus is actually a massive tool for self-leadership, because focus is that awareness and it's that choice again of redirecting our thoughts, our emotions, so that then the second part of focus, the short-term focus, then we can direct our energy and our attention into doing something about it. So the thoughts turn into the actions. And that's really what self-leadership is about. If you master that inner world of thoughts and emotions, then that shifts the behaviors that you do, and that then shifts your outcome and your result.
That is so powerful. And it also feels like the thing that we all want the most, that superpower, that ability to do this. What do you think are the biggest challenges or roadblocks that people face to getting to that place, to getting to focus?
I think there are two main obstacles. The first one is lack of awareness. So most people just don't realize that they have these thoughts or these emotions or these, reflective, automatic ways of doing things. Most people aren't aware that they're doing things in an automatic way. So there's that lack of awareness. And the second biggest obstacle is probably the victim mindset. So this feeling and belief that they are a victim of the circumstances and that they can't choose or change it. So people often feel justified in feeling low or feeling upset because of the external world. And when that happens, it maintains the status quo and then they can't shift their perspective. I really love this quote there's loads of different people who mention it, but Amor Towles mentioned it in his book, which is master circumstances so that they don't master you, which is the whole Stoic principle explained again, or the being proactive by Stephen Covey. All of these different philosophies say the same thing, which is essentially we can choose. We can choose our response to any external or internal response, but we first need to become aware of it, and then we need to have the discipline, the focus, the courage to shift our response.
This focus, this ability to do this, is it like a muscle that you start working out and you strengthen? I mean, where do you start if focus feels like it's an ability that's far away from you right now?
It's definitely a muscle, so baby steps. The first thing would be realizing and having that awareness. Someone, for instance, who is always multitasking or always distracted or thinking about a million things at the same time. First becoming aware of it and then trying small things, whether it's just 10 minutes of deep work and taking a break. And the two key tools that really can enable and enhance our focus are breaks during the day, so we can process what's going on, and meditation, because that's where we strengthen that muscle of awareness, but also emotional regulation and just our ability to be sharp on things. And also one of my favorite tools, which is cold showers and cold immersion, because cold immersion really sharpens our brain and our senses and makes us more focused. And exercise. There are lots of things.
What's so interesting about this is that I think focus is something that we really closely associate with work. And the three different tools that you're talking about that will boost your ability to focus have nothing to do with work. How do you contextualize this for somebody who is so deep in the mode of thinking about focus is sitting down at your computer and banging out, you know, a piece of written material or an email or proposal? How do you then broaden their perspective to consider focus being much, much beyond the actual work?
I think it's because focus is really linked to emotional regulation. So if we're not able to manage our emotions, this is what ends up distracting us. So if we're really stressed, or if we're really bored, or if we're really frustrated, then we're going to check our emails and do a lot of things and check our phone. But if we're able to manage our emotions and stay calm and grounded, then suddenly doing deep work, sitting down and just doing that report in 2 hours and not doing anything else is a lot easier. And for emotional regulation, things like, okay, the cold showers, but more the meditation, walks in nature, all of these things enhance that ability. And focus is deeply linked to obviously neuroscience and the hormones in our brain and all of these things. And to make that cocktail of hormones more efficient, this can help. Things like meditation can help with that hormonal cocktail.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking a lot about, I mean, emotions, they're so deeply ingrained in us. They're such something that's so personal. So I'm curious about, for you personally, why is focus as a topic or as a tool something that's so important to you in your life?
I think it's because I've always been so passionate about so many different things and different topics. And I realized at one point that to actually achieve or finish projects, I need to put all of my attention and energy in it. The book is a great example. This is the third book I write, but it's only the first one I published because I didn't take the focus all the way through. And so I noticed early on that if I was able to carry something through, and this is both in one day at work, but also an entire project over several months, it felt so much better. And it was so great for my well-being and my fulfillment and contribution and all of these things. So that's when I realized that focus is really a gift, and that if we're able to do this, it's not just great for our productivity, it's great for our well-being, it's great for fulfillment, it's great for contribution, and we just feel so much better. That's what it's about.
All right, so paint me a little bit of a picture. I'm going to push you out on a limb a little bit. What does the world look like when you have a society that's able to focus and regulate those emotions?
Wow, that would be amazing. What I'm seeing is mostly I'm seeing people that are a lot more present, people who are a lot more present in conversations like us now, people who are a lot more present in their relationships, people who are present in their work, people who don't get triggered as much, take responsibility for the way they're acting, people that if they bump into each other on the street, they apologize, they smile, just a lot more presence and consciousness and awareness of themselves and people around. So a lot more respectful, a lot more kindness. It'd be pretty good.
My God, that sounds like exactly what the world needs right now. Katie, thank you so much. It was wonderful to talk to you. Your book, The Magic of Focus, is on sale now. I have my own copy. I can't wait to dig into it this weekend. Thank you for writing such an invaluable book.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Lindsay. Thank you.